Hello learner, greetings of the day. Let us discuss about two-dimensional composite transformations. So far we have seen what are the 2D transformation techniques. So the three transformation techniques that we already discussed was rotation, translation and scaling. We also have seen how to represent these transformations in the matrix format. Now we'll continue with the concept of 2D transformations, but what is this composite transformation here? So let us discuss about this more. We can see here the transformation. When we say it can be translation, rotation or scaling. So when I say it is a composite transformation matrix, it is nothing but the sequence of transformations that we apply, and the sequence of transformation, when I say, it can be rotation, translation, scaling. You can apply them all three in sequence, and whenever you apply them in sequence, you are supposed to calculate the product of the individual transformation. So if we are using individual, or if you are representing individual transformation here in the matrix format, that means rotation matrix, then we have translation matrix, and then we have scaling matrix. If I am applying all three transformation over the object, then each of this transformation I represent in the form of matrix, and this sequence of transformation you can call it as, or you can set it up as a composite transformation matrix, provided you multiply these three matrices and calculate the product of them. Okay, and then this type of multiplication, matrix multiplication, you call it as concatenation of matrices, or in other words it is composition of matrices. So suppose I have a single point, say P, which you have to now transform. So when I say transform, it can be the series of transformation you are applying. Maybe you are applying first translation, and then you may perform rotation, and then you may perform scaling. See, when I'm applying the transformation, I'm applying from right to left, not from left to right. I'm applying the transformation or multiplying the matrices from right to left. So this type of concatenation or composition of matrix is shown here. A point P on which the transformation is applied, which is written in the form of matrix M1 and M2. So first actually you apply M1. So M1 you can multiply with P and get the resultant, and that resultant finally you can multiply with M2. So this is the order of applying transformation. In general, you can even multiply these two matrices M1 and N2 and get a single matrix M, so which you can multiply with the point P in order to get the resultant P dash. So we are not applying individually the transformations. It is something like the composite matrix means we are actually concatenating the matrices. So and then concatenating this matrices with the object or a point. We'll now start with the composite 2D translation technique. So this translation, what is composite translation technique? So we have the translation parameters, which we've already seen, that is the x component of the translation and y component of the translation. So this represents, say, the first translation T1. Say I am applying one more translation T2, again with the x component 2x and the y component of translation represented by 2y. Now, when I apply this two translations on a particular point or a position P, then let's see what will be the transformed location. Let me represent it as P dash. So, how do I calculate this point P dash? So, P dash is calculated as the original point P onto which I am applying the first translation. So, always you have to write from right to left, or you have to apply the transformation from right to left. So first you apply first translation T1. So T1 is represented as T1x comma T1y, and that you can multiply with the point P, and then you can multiply that product with the final transformation, or in other words, first T1 and then you can apply T2. So next finally you multiply that with the product over here. So next there's one more way of doing that. So the two transformation, whatever you have, the translation 1 and translation 2, you can multiply, and the product you can finally multiply with the point P. So actually you call this right to left multiplication as post multiplication. So post multiplication is nothing but you are approaching from right to left. You can now see the values of the matrices. So the you can see here the translation T1 elements of that, as it's a like diagonal elements are 1, rest others are 0, but you can see here the third element, it represents the x factor of translation, and here in the second row y factor of translation. And this translation matrix we had already discussed, and we have represented this matrix in homogeneous coordinates. You can see this third row here, the last z value is equal to 1. So what is this representing? Homogeneous coordinates or translation along z. Since it is 2D, the third row is 0, 0, 1. Next I have translation T2, wherein you are applying it over the point. So again the matrix format is given to you. So when I multiply these two matrices, I get this resultant matrix. So T1x plus T2x. So I hope you all know how to multiply the matrix. So row and column. So this is you can see T2x plus T1x, next T2y plus T1y you have here in the first row and second row as well, and the last row is as it is 0, 0, 1. So here you can rewrite this as translation, the first translation T1, when you multiply with the second translation T2, you get this as a resultant matrix. Okay. So this actually demonstrates two successive translations, so T1 and T2, and you can say that they are additive in nature. So because you are adding those two factors, so additive in nature. Now we'll see how two-dimensional rotations can be applied. So I can apply rotations, multiple rotations over a single point P. So successive rotation, as you know, we are performing post multiplication, so the sequence of transformation, so it moves from right to left. So the first rotation that you're applying on point P is r theta 1. So theta 1 is angle of rotation on the point P. Now the product of that, whatever you got, you can just multiply that with the rotation matrix with the angle T2, theta 2, or else you can also multiply this way. So the two rotation matrices you can multiply, and the resultant you can just multiply with the point P. So after you multiply these two rotation matrices with the two angles theta 1 and theta 2, two different rotations, okay, you can now just verify whether the two successive rotations whatever you have applied, theta 1 and theta 2, these two rotations, whether they are additive. So you can just see final rotated coordinates of the point you can calculate with the composite rotation matrix, the final rotated coordinates of a point. So how is that? General equation, the same equation we are rewriting above equation, P dash is equal to r into theta 1 plus theta 2 multiplied by the point P. So it is something like rotation you are applying two rotations you're applying in order theta. One is angle theta 1 and the other one is angle theta 2, and since this is additive, so you can have rewritten this as r into theta 1 plus theta 2. So this is a combination of r1 and r2, and finally you multiply that with our original point P. So this is how you rewrite, and we can calculate with the composite rotation matrix. Now we have here our final composite transformation, and that is two-dimensional scaling. The last type of transformation technique is scaling. So how you can apply 2D scaling? So we have already seen the basics of 2D scaling. Now again, if I am going for the sequence of scaling technique, so concatenating should happen, concatenating the transformation matrices. So you have to multiply the scaling matrices. If I am applying two scalings or two types of scalings in sequence, those two successive scaling matrices should be multiplied, and you can just see here the composite scaling matrix. So you can just see this is scaling 1, and I am again applying back to back. The next scaling is scaling 2. So you can see the scaling matrix S1x 0 0. So this represents the x component of scaling, this represents a y component of scaling, and this is the scaling along z axis. So you can just see here it's a 2D scaling again. So x factor, second type of scaling, second scaling in sequence. Next again y component of second scaling. Okay, so after you multiply these two, you get this as the resultant matrix. So S1x into S2x. So you can just see here, you can rewrite this. Your second scaling, when you multiply with the first scaling, you get the answer as S into S1x into S2x comma S1y into S2y. So you can just see it's a multiplicative, it's a associative, not additive type of operation.